welcome back. Today we are doing another episode of the ASMR podcast. And today has been a rather eventful day for me. I got a lot more than I usually do as far as errands done. But now I'm home and I wanted to make this video because it's been a couple days since I made a ASMR video. I'm kind of in this time where I'm really trying not to force it, and I'm trying to just only make videos when I feel like it, because I don't know, I want to try that out and see if it works better for me and if I'm able to be more inspired by letting it kind of naturally flow. In December, I did uploads every single day, so it's kind of the opposite of that. You know, I was making videos regardless of how I felt, and now I'm doing it the opposite. Lexi, I don't know if you saw her in the mirror, but she just sat up and stared at me for a second. But anyways, I did think of another weird turn on. So I have a list in my phone of weird things that I find attractive or are turn-ons, and a couple of them actually are car related, but it's not so much a turn-on, it kind of is, but it's also kind of that feeling similar to ASMR. It's very satisfying, you know? So the new one that I thought of was when you're driving on a big road, like a fast road, maybe one where you go about 50, 55, and then there's a car coming that's gonna turn to cut across the road, and even better if there's another car that also wants to turn from the other way and cut across that way, and you're going really fast, and they both cut across in front of you while you're going really fast, but it's timed perfectly where you don't have to slow down, and they just go and you're going, and it's just perfect, and you pass right after they go. Yeah, I don't know, I find that really satisfying. It really does it for me, you know. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but it's probably one of the peaks of human bliss that is possible to experience. But it's kind of one of those things that it has to happen naturally, you know? It doesn't happen every day. Probably only happens once in a while. And when it does happen, it's very special. So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought I would let you know about that. But yeah, I'm wearing my friendship shirt. Kindness helps friendship grow, with strawberry shortcake on it. And I did put up a sticker on my Instagram story asking for people to ask me questions. I will say, so far the questions that people have asked are, I don't know, there's a lot of non-question questions and just thirsty things people have typed in there. Instagram is kind of a wild place, but there are some questions, so we can answer those. I have my iPad here. I like to use the iPad for Q&A because I'm using my phone to record. So, one of the first questions that I see here is, do you believe in reincarnation? And that actually ties into something that I wanted to talk about too, that's in my notes. So that's a great question. So I don't really like to say that I believe in it as much as I resonate with certain ideas. I think because of my past growing up in religion, I don't really like to fully buy into any school of thought or belief system, and maybe that's just some sort of contrarianism that I have within me because of my religious background. It just really grosses me out to, like, say like, oh, I'm a part of this group, or I'm a part of that group, or I believe this, or I believe that. It's like, I don't know, but I have different ideas that I resonate with at different times, and I'm not loyal to any of those ideas. I'm always open to new information. And so, with that being said, I do resonate with the idea of everyone being one, and so if we are all one, then technically you would be reincarnated. You're reincarnated as every single person ever, and oftentimes, well, always, you're many people at once. You are everybody. And that, of course, is if you are seeing it from the point of view of there's only one consciousness and it's just being split up into all these different experiences. So in that way, I do resonate with reincarnation, and I don't really necessarily feel tied to any certain school of thought surrounding it. But the thought that I was having that's related to reincarnation is, so sometimes I feel sad because I wish that certain people could understand me, and certain experiences you can't really understand unless you experience it yourself. And so, like, I'll just use men and women as an example. Sometimes as a woman, I feel sad when, I interact with a man and he doesn't seem to fully understand what it's like to be a woman, obviously. And, it's frustrating. Sometimes you can feel just sad that person will never understand what it's really like. But then I try to switch it around and think, what if reincarnation was real? And what if I was a guy in my past life, and now I am experiencing what it's like to be a woman, and my only job is to observe and feel and have this experience so I can develop that empathy for the woman experience. And that goes for everything, by the way. That goes for any, like, feature about you, you know? Like, your life experience, how you look, where you live, all of these things. You know, what if you are who you are so that you can experience it? It sounds so obvious, but at least for me, I often kind of project it onto other people, and I feel like, why don't you understand what it's like for me? And the simple answer is, that's not their job. They are incarnated as them. Their job is to fully experience what it's like to be them. I'm incarnated as me. My job is to watch, be, experience, and really experience what it's like to be Eden, and all of the things that come with that. And I have to hold a place of honor for this experience, even when it feels difficult, and even when it feels easy. All of it. I am me. Hopefully that made sense, but it really, for me, that was kind of a shower thought that I was having. And I've had that thought a million times, but again, sometimes you have the same thought, but it just really, you viscerally feel it, you know? I just think that's a good thing to remember if you are ever struggling with the idea of other people not having empathy for you, or other people just assuming things about you. You have to remember that, for all you know, maybe you were them in a past life, and now you are you, so that you can understand how hard it really fucking is. And so, you better pay attention, right? You have to pay attention to your own life, because before you didn't get it, but now you're you, so you better be able to understand, like, do yourself justice and experience what it's like to be you fully. And to me, what that means is occasionally putting away the distractions and really sitting with your feelings, sitting with your experiences, and just paying attention to yourself. Which I know is easier said than done. There are days where I literally, the whole day, walk around with my phone, because sometimes when you put your phone down, I don't know, at least for me, there's like this high-pitched tone, and everything feels so heavy, and I'm like confused, like, I don't know, overwhelmed would be, I think, what it is, because when you keep distracting yourself from your life, and then you're interacting with so much new information on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, your brain is being inundated. And so when you finally give yourself a second to catch up, sometimes it's like, you feel like, whoa, like, okay, that's a lot to process, And so, honestly, the days where I start off without my phone, I do meditation, yoga, workout, whatever, those days are a lot better, because I can kind of process as I go, and I can stay in my own frame. I can stay being, eat in because that's my job. But hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm a little dehydrated. I have not drank as much water as I should today. I got an oil change and the guy gave me water. They were so nice at the oil change place, honestly. But yeah, I do feel like, honestly, that's been my main lesson in life, is just stop projecting onto other people and come back into my own perspective and my own experience. I will say, for some people, they have the opposite problem. For some people, they only think about themselves and, like, they don't even, like, ever think about what life could be like for other people. So, for those people, they would have the opposite advice, right? They would have the advice of put yourself in someone else's shoes, maybe think about other people's experiences and realize that, like, they are different than you. But that's why it's important to know yourself, so you can, find whatever imbalances you have and balance it. But anyways, let's see what other questions. I do have a lot of people asking why I don't make more videos in Portuguese and requesting more. So I speak a little bit of Portuguese, but not a lot, so it is kind of tricky sometimes, because if I want to make a video, if I make it in English, it's easy for me, but if I want to do it in Portuguese, I might not know all the words, and sometimes it's a lot harder to do. And also, it can get confusing when you post in a different language on your channel when the main language is a different one. But I do like to do the Portuguese videos every now and then, so maybe I'll do another one soon. Someone asked if I still wear glasses. I do. Yeah, I wear glasses every day, but I also wear contacts, so a lot of the times if I'm gonna make content, it happens to be on contact days, but not always. Someone asked what my height is. I'm 5'6", and they asked if I have goals for this year. I do have goals for this year. I mean, I kind of have like a vision, I have things that I'm working on. I have a direction I want to go in. I do have targets. So yeah, I guess I do have goals. What is your ethnicity? So I have family that are Lithuanian, Italian, French Canadian, and Irish. But they are all that's great grandparents and beyond, So nowadays I'm kind of just American. Someone asked if I play video games. I do not. I don't really play video games because, I don't know, I feel like I'm already so overstimulated, and video games it feels hard. Like you're staring at a screen and you're having to do work because you have to move the keys or the thing, and I just don't like doing any extra work than I have to, and you don't get anything out of it, at least for me. It just feels like I'm doing work. But I know for some people they enjoy it. But for me, if I'm gonna do work, I want to get something out of it. If I got paid to play video games, I would definitely do it. But for free, no, I'm not doing that. Someone asked if I have a boyfriend. I do not. Favorite holiday? Christmas, probably. Any travel plans this year? No, I don't think so. Not so far. I mean, I kind of do want to go on a cruise again. It's been a long time since I've been on one. But the problem is that I'd have to go with somebody, and I just don't really have anybody in my life that I would want to go on a cruise with. Because you have to be in that small room together. So it's like, I don't really have anyone that I would want to be in a small room with for multiple days. And maybe I would go by myself, but it's like, you have to pay twice the price, because when you pay, usually it's 2 people splitting, but if you're just one person, you're still taking up a whole room, so I think you have to pay as if it's 2 people anyways. And plus that, if I go alone, I don't know, I think I would just, I don't know if I'd have fun, because I would feel really awkward. And everything I would want to do, I'd have to be by myself. But that could be good for making friends and like practicing being friendly. And since I don't drink, I would have to raw dog friendly, being friendly. But I could do that. Somebody asked, does age or ethnicity matter to you? I'm assuming they mean in a dating context. I'm assuming. And no, not really. I mean, I'm pretty open to connection. Like, you know, I'm attracted to all different kinds of people, but it's mostly just about the personality. I mean, obviously, they have to be hot, don't get me wrong, but like what kind of hot doesn't necessarily, like I don't have a strict type per se. Somebody asked, who are your top 3 bands or artists and songs by them? Right now, I really like Odie. I like his song Summer Girl, I think, and Little Lies, and Story. I really like Naked by Bickle, and it's hard to remember right now, to be honest, but yeah, Odie, that one song by Bickle, Lana Del Rey, Paris, Texas, that song by her. I don't know why, I've just been obsessed with it lately. Somebody asked, how old are you? I am 25 years of age. Somebody asked, can you whisper more? Like, do an only whispered video? I do have specific videos that are whispered only. I don't do it all of the time because, I don't know, I don't really feel like my whispered voice is very good. So, I don't know, but maybe it's also just my taste, because if I'm gonna watch a video, if I'm gonna watch an ASMR video, I usually like soft-spoken. I find whispered videos hard to listen to because there's no, like, it's not grounded, it's more just like, I don't know, I don't like it as much. I like the kind of timbre, if that's how you say it, in the voice that comes with soft-spoken. Somebody asked, have you ever considered moving to England? I don't think so. Yeah, no. I did consider moving to Ireland because I was looking at Airbnbs there, and it just looked so chill. And they have like sheep running around, and I don't know, maybe Ireland. I can't tell, but I think the person who asked that is a guy with red hair, and that reminded me when I went to run my errand. I was in the parking lot of this gym and I saw a guy go in. There wasn't a lot of people there, and it was a young guy with red hair, like a ginger. And I noticed that because, you know, you don't see ginger guys all the time. And then he walked in, and then I turned and I looked, and there was another guy. They're both young guys. There's another guy getting out of his car, and he had red hair. And I was like, what's going on? There's just a lot of ginger guys, I guess. So that was a kind of interesting synchronicity. Oh yeah, doesn't strawberry shortcake have red hair? Maybe that's why, because I'm wearing this shirt. It just attracted all the red-haired guys. Someone asked, what's your favorite smell? Is it connected to a memory? I don't really have a favorite smell. I think it changes, you know, like I have different ones that I like and then whatever, but I do really like when it's a colder day and I step outside and I smell like a bonfire burning. And I guess that is connected to fond memories of my childhood, and sometimes my family would have bonfires, or they'd have parties and do bonfires at them. And it was really fun because we'd make s'mores and it was just very festive. Someone asked, are you a big Disney fan? And what's your dream vacation destination? So I'm not a huge Disney fan. I would say I am indifferent at best, but I did work at Disney for 3.5 years. I worked over the phone as a sales specialist, and basically I was just booking people's vacation packages for them. And so that made me appreciate Disney more, just because I got to understand why people care about it so much, and people would, you know, be spending thousands of dollars, which for some people that was something they'd been saving up for years, and they would tell me about why it was such a big deal for them. Maybe they had like childhood memories, or they went there with their dad and now they're going one last time before he dies or something from cancer. Like there's all kinds of like really emotional things that people feel about it. And so hearing about that stuff made me appreciate that side of it more. But for me personally, I don't have any of those feelings. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. So, whatever. But I do, I can appreciate a good Disney day, I think. My dream vacation destination, I don't really have one, like, at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, I like tropical places. I do want to go to Ireland. But I kind of like being stable. Like, I like being in one place for a long time, because when I was a kid, we would travel a lot, just around the US mostly, but I think for me, I just kind of crave that stability more so than traveling. Although, if I want to travel, I can travel, like, but I think I'd rather, if I am going to, I'd rather go for like a month or two minimum, because it takes me a while to settle in, and if I'm gonna fully explore, I want to be settled in, you know? Somebody asked, what does it take to be your best self? I would say you have to get to know yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself, which means looking at every part of your mind, thinking about the things that you try not to think about so that you can take the power away from them. I just saw a bunny, a big bunny. I buried its baby yesterday because the baby died. Very sad, but anyways, yeah, you have to look at yourself, sit with yourself, feel all of the feelings you've been suppressing. That takes a long time, but once you get through that initial difficult part, you start to know yourself better, and you can, I don't know, move with integrity. Like, all the choices you make are in alignment with who you want to be, and you're not just doing things based off of impulse. And that allows you to intentionally create your reality, and also you can fully enjoy it because you're not trying to numb yourself out, so you don't have to look at reality. Somebody asked, what got you into OnlyFans? I actually made a whole video about that, so you can check that video out if you're interested. But I had a lot of people requesting it for a long time, and I finally decided, like, you know what, that sounds like fun, and I was ready to just go for it, and so I did. Somebody asked, will you ever come and visit Las Vegas? I actually have visited Las Vegas. It's not really my vibe because I don't drink anymore, and I don't really gamble like that. I mean, one thing I do like to do is I do like to buy lottery tickets, like at the gas station. You can just buy it. And I do that for manifestation reasons. One, because it wouldn't hurt to win the lottery. I would love that. But also, I don't know, there's something about being in that mental state right after you buy a lottery ticket where you're in this moment where you don't know. You might be a multi-millionaire tomorrow if you win, which is entirely possible. And so it allows you to kind of project into that future and align yourself to be on that path vibrationally. So for me, what I like to do is I imagine, like, okay, imagine tomorrow I find out that I won the jackpot lottery. What's the first thing that I would do? Aside from, of course, going to get it and whatever, but, you know, there are things you kind of need to put into order in your life. And so I did this last week, and I realized if I won the lottery, one of the first things I would do is I would look into investing, because when you have that much money, you need to invest in S&P 500, whatever. Like I would go the really traditional route. And so I needed to make sure that's all set up. And another thing is I would want to buy a new car. And in order to buy a new car, I'd have to sell my old car. My old car was really messy. So that motivated me, in order to prepare for this vision, this line going into the future of being a multimillionaire. This mindset just highlighted 2 tasks for me to do that I know are in alignment with this path. And one of them was clean my car, which I did today. I got it done. And the other was look into investing. And I already had an investing account set up, but I hadn't looked at it in a long time, so I did that like last week. And now, I have to think about it. Like, what would happen if I won millions of dollars? What do I need next to get in line for that sort of trajectory? And I think next I would probably do my laundry. So this is how I like to figure out what tasks I need to do. I don't know why, but it really helps me. Like, it helps me to make sure that I'm doing things that are only in alignment with my highest good. I'm not going to lie, I do feel a little discombobulated, a little all over the place mentally. My brain isn't really at its optimum right now, so I hope that this video has been watchable. I know I didn't answer very many questions, but honestly, there were so many just unusable questions, and I don't know, I kind